Hi everyone, you are Rambo McLean for life. I want to welcome everyone back to another movie review in the James Bond franchise. And now I'm gonna review the third Roger Moore movie, and of course, I think it's the 10th James Bond film, the franchise, and that's The Spy Who Loved Me. Yeah, this is The Spy Who Loved Me, the Blu-ray, the back. And yeah, I just finished this movie today. And I saw this movie many times, and I'm gonna say right at the back, it's a good movie. It's a really, really good movie, James Bond movie. And by most of the James Bond fans, The Spy Who Loved Me is actually considered by many of them his best. Even Roger Moore stated that this is actually his favorite film. In audio commentary, he stated this is actually his favorite film he did. And yeah, and usually fans, they go for this movie, they say this is the best Bond, the best Roger Moore Bond that he ever did. I agree, but for a while, like I said, for a while, this one was my favorite movie that I saw. Until 4 years, when I go now back, when I revisit the old Bond films, from Dr. No till now 1977, The Spy Who Loved Me, I want to say that I do really like this film. Still, I really do like this film, but I kind of prefer now Live and Let Die, the Man with the Golden Gun over this film, because I kind of thought the Man with the Golden Gun was much better movie. I know I'm probably now the only one that think that, but The Spy Who Loved Me was a good movie. Just for me, the second hour, the second act and the third act actually start kicking in. The first act I felt bored with it. The first act, and by me there are a few problems. I don't think this movie that suffers from few problems, which I will get to. By the way, this is more James Bond underwater, just like it has similarity to Thunderball. That's another problem that I do have, which I'll get to. But yeah, this is not gonna be a long review, because The Spy Who Loved Me talks about two submarine, a British and a Russian submarine disappear, and they call James Bond and the Russian agent. This is the first time that we see the Russians opponent, Walter Gotell, who plays General Gogol. This is the first time that he appears. He did not appear in You Let Die and The Man with the Golden Gun. He now appears the first time as the Russian opponent to British MI6 agency, and MI6 calls their best man James Bond, while the Russians calls their best agent, and that's Triple X, played by Barbara Bach, Major Anya Amasova. Yeah, that's her, Major Amanya Amasova. She's a major. And the first half is like about, it's the hunt for this microfilm, which there are important informations. And the first hour brings Bond to Egypt, to the desert, in which he's probably in Africa now. He goes to the deserts, to Egypt, and while Triple X, she tries to recover the microfilm from, I think, for some guy, Fakesh, in the Egypt. And we also get a cool villain, and that's Jaws, played by Richard Kiel, that's Jaws, we got a cool villain, and Jaws kills Fakesh, while two Russians jumps James Bond, while he's investigating the murder, and James Bond defeats easily both of them, and he's in this party, and he tries to get this guy Max Scarpa to get this microfilm, but Jaws once again, kills Max Scarpa, steals the microfilm. On the hunt for this microfilm, Bond has to team up with irresistible Major Anya Masova, to in the search of the microfilm. And of course, Jaws, they both hide in this van, and Jaws, he brings them to an empty pyramid. And while he tries, while this guy Jaws tries to kill Bond, Major Maswa saves his life, by warning him. They escape Jaws, and of course Anya Masova, she does have this microfilm, and both they go to the boat. And on the boat, she actually goes, and I think she kind of stuns Bond. She goes and stuns Bond, and Bond wakes up. But before she could do that and took the microfilm, he rechecked the microfilm, and he stole, and he actually made the microfilm completely useless. And while he's in Egypt, he goes to the MI6 hideout, and then he sees for the first time Walter Gogol, who plays Walter Gotell. He plays General Gogol, and now the things changed because someone sabotaged British and Russian submarines, and both governments agreed to work together. So now Bond and Anya Masova has to work together. They has to both team together to find out what happened to those two missing submarines. And the leads brings them. Then brings them to Karl Stromberg, who's actually I wrote it, who's actually a megalomaniac, yeah, he's a megalomaniac who lives on the sea, and he has built that kind of ship, it's called Atlantis. He has built like his own headquarters, his hideout. He has built his hideout who lives in the sea. And so because the leads brings them to Karl Stromberg, James Bond goes undercover as a biologist, by checking out the Stromberg side of Atlantis, and of course Stromberg is not stupid. He recognized that he is James Bond, that he is the British spy agent who tries to destroy and demolish his plans, and of course he sends his assassins to eliminate Bond. Of course Bond and Anya Masova eludes all the pursuers, and of course underwater they try to kill them both underwater. They both pursuers, and of course later they both avoid them, and of course later in the film Major Anya Masova finds out that James Bond killed her lover, the love of her life, her boyfriend, and she swears that she's gonna kill now Bond for that, by the end of the mission. And they go now to this American submarine, USSR. They go to the American submarine and to try to check out the ship Liparus, which is owned by Karl Stromberg, but they are captured. They are pulled by electromagnetic pulse, and they are captured. And of course, Anya has been taken with Karl Stromberg in his hideout. James Bond starts to James Bond rebels against Stromberg's men, and he starts he starts a mutiny, and he frees one of those sailors, and he starts a war which all the crew from Russian and the Britain they start fighting against Stromberg's men, while they try to escape with the submarine. Already 2 submarines, they are underwater, and Karl Stromberg, he hijacked those 2 submarines because he wants to cause World War III, and he wants to make a new civilization. He wants to recreate a new civilization underwater, and he wants to destroy New York and Moscow, so that the Russian and the US would kill each other. That's what he wants to fire 2 missiles. And of course, Bond prevents that, by fighting Stromberg's man and Stromberg's captain, and he uses that from the missile, that electro projectile, that explosion projectile, and destroys that thing still. He destroys, and he also he sends to both the submarines wrong coordinates, so reprograms them to destroy each other, which they does in the film. And of course the ship Liberis then explodes, and of course James Bond and General Commander Carter, they escape with the submarine. And now Bond, he also gets now Bond, he also gets now Bond, Commander Carter tells him that they got orders from Washington that they had to destroy this Atlantis, Stromberg's hideout in 5 minutes, and Bond asks him to delay for 1 hour so he can save Major Anya Masova, because she's a hostage and she's on that ship, and Bond uses the Q's gadget, I think it's the water ski, or how you call that, water jet ski. He uses water jet ski. He's on water jet ski, gets to Stromberg's Atlantis, hideout, and he also goes toe to toe with Stromberg. Stromberg tries to throw him in the water, to the shark. But of course Bond says, "You try to drop me, your time's run now, Stromberg." And of course Stromberg says, "You're stew, Bond, you're stew." And he fires a shot but misses Bond, and Bond says, "You use this now, you use the shot, now it's my turn." And he fires shots and kills Karl Stromberg. Then he goes to toe fights with Jaws, and of course Jaws, he outsmarts Jaws by using electromagnetic field, because Jaws has teeth of steel, and he outsmarts him, which he gets caught by that electromagnetic field, and the Bond throws him to sharks, but Jaws survives. Of course, this movie Jaws survives. And the ship is now fired by torpedoes by I wrote down by I think was by USS Wayne submarine, and they destroy the ship. Bond goes and saves Major Anya Masova, and they flee together in Stromberg's ship. In the end, Major Masova says the mission's over, and she points his Walter PPK gun, but she doesn't shoot him. Instead, they have a love romance, and then on the end, they've been caught by their superiors, because I think M asked him what they do, protect the British service, or what he said. But the movie then, of course, ends. What can I say? The action is good in this movie. Yes, the action is good in this movie. I really do like this film. I think it's a really good, solid movie. To me, it's not the best Bond. It's also not my number one favorite. It used to be my number one favorite, but there are kind of other Roger Moore movies that he did. Like I said, The Man with the Golden Gun, I really enjoy, especially the end sequence. I enjoy more. I even enjoy Live and Let Die kind of more. Like I said, it's gonna be hard to rank them by Roger Moore because, my opinion, all the movies that he did were good. None of them was bad. But yeah, the action is actually really good. I like the car chases. There's a new car that has been used by Roger Moore, but sadly I did not check out because I don't care about his car, But yeah, it was a good car that he had a gadget like fuel, or a missile, which he had, or he can, or this scene, his car underwater. That was terrific, the car underwater was terrific. But yeah, I like the chases, There's a motorcycle following James Bond, Emad Masova, and then fires a missile, with the motorcycle, That was really good stunt, But because he misses and he destroys the truck, and he gets caught by the chicken feathers, he falls down, off the road, and it's been killed, in the sea. There's also like Jaws and his men are following and shooting on James Bond, but they also get blindsided and they fall down, and all the men, they fall in this house, which the car explodes. Jaws, the only one survives, the other dies. This guy shouting in Italian, he's shouting. There's also Naomi, the third assassin from Stromberg, with helicopter fires on the James Bond vehicle, the James Bond's Ferrari car, she fires, of course, she fires at him. But Bond, he falls down the water, and this is like a boat, this is really an awesome, by you. And of course, he uses missile, destroys the helicopter. That's really good action, That's really good action. Like I said, the second hour starts by me. I love the train sequence. The train sequence is the best for me on the film because Anya Masova and James Bond are on this train, and they both decide to sleep separately. And when Triple X opens the door, of the closet, she sees Jaws. Jaws goes, punches her, he tries to bite her, and of course Bond uses champagne, throws champagne, and Jaws pissed, punches but misses, and starts. There's a fight between Bond and Jaws, and Bond kicks Jaws, throws him out of the train. That was a really great sequence. I really love that, and he saves Major Masova in this movie, And I also love that he goes back for Major Masova. But yeah, the final act, the war, the fight, the crew, the submarine crew, the Russians, the British, and the Americans, when they start fighting against Stromberg's men, that's actually awesome. That's great. The explosions, the guns, the explosions, that's awesome. The open scene I like when Bond is in this cabin, and this girl says, "But I need you," and he says, "So does," and he says, "So does," and he says, "Yeah, so does England," and he jumps with on a skis, he jumps off the mountain with a parachute. That's also a great scene. I read that George Lazenby he recommended that scene for his movie on Her Majesty's Secret Service, but they did not use it. But somehow they use it in this movie, which I still don't know why. Probably the producers like that idea, but that was George Lazenby's idea. He should have been credited in this movie, But yeah, the rest the action, I mean, the only action that I saw was the chases, the train sequences, and the finale, and the final battle, between Stromberg and Jaws with Bond, That's the only thing in the movie. The other things beside the car is also that there are actually three assassins from Stromberg. The one is Naomi, Caroline Munro. She's Naomi. She's his assassin. She was stung by a bee, and before the first encounter by the boats, when you see her staring her that evil, it wasn't because she was acting or because the car, it's because of the pain. Filmmakers demanded that she finish that scene. She sat in a bee and she was stunned. She felt pain. But yeah, that's the first assassin. The second one assassin is Richard Killer's Jaws. Yeah, I forgot that's the train sequence. Now Jaws was awesome. Richard Killer's best performance. And the other one was Shandor. The third assassin was Shandor, which was killed by James Bond. In the beginning, the opening film. I wrote down somewhere. Milton Reed, he played Shandor. The third assassin for Karl Stromberg, but he's been so easily defeated by James Bond. Yeah, the problems. This movie heavily borrows the elements from other films like Underwater. That's probably a reference to Thunderball. Also, when Karl Stromberg says, about the microfilm, the first hour, everyone has to encounter with microfilm. He has to he gets killed. That's the same language, the same the same line that was used in Diamonds Are Forever. When those two assassins say whoever touches the diamonds dies. In this movie it's the same. Whoever is encountered with the microfilm has to die the same. And when those two guys, those professors, one of them is Markowitz, probably based on Tom Markowitz, the writer who did not work on this movie. They also both go in this helicopter. And Stromberg paid them $20 million each one of them, and then he put the bomb. He put then he deactivated the trigger for the bomb, and he blows the helicopter. The same scene was used in Diamonds Are Forever. That's another my problem. Already said the Underwater is reference to Thunderball. What else? Yeah, the first hour he's in Egypt and he's in this desert in this Egypt. That just really doesn't interest me, just doesn't interest me that much, I didn't know that Caroline Munro was also dubbed by other actors now, but yeah, but that was okay. Also, I don't like. I think is the music score. I think was by. I forgot to mention. I think was by John Barry once again. No, Marvin Halmish was actually music. It wasn't John Barry, Marvin Halmish. But I really don't like the music, or a song by Carly Simon, Nobody Does It Better, I'm not interested in that song, I used to like it, but no, it's the same, the reference from her music, this movie tries to be romantic, fuck romance, I don't care about romance, when there's this boat, he tries to be charm. Fuck charm, I would rather watch The Man with the Golden Gun because in that movie he at least twisted Andrea Anders' arm and said, I'm gonna break it, better performance in that movie. Sorry, Roger, but I think The Man with the Golden Gun is better than your movie, The Spy Who Loved Me. I'm sorry, it's just, I'm being honest, when I watch them from back to back, I see the problems in them, like I said, the second hour when they're on this train and when they're on this boat, and they're being chased with a car, that's when it starts kicking. That's when the movie for me starts kicking. But the rest, the first hour is kind of, I feel bored with it, I kind of really get bored because it's hunt for this microfilm. I thought Bond is investigating the disappearance of the submarine, not hunting for the microfilm. And it's the same version, the same thing is the same story is been used from Diamonds Are Forever. It was hunt for those diamonds, because they were used for that satellite projector, that laser satellite projector, they were used in that movie. And this movie is a hunt for microfilm, which I don't get why. So there's some valuable information because they are probably the pictures of Karl Stromberg, And in the opening scene, when we met Karl Stromberg, he says that someone tries to steal the plans, his plans, and try to buy to sell them to higher bidder. And there's this girl, and he throws her out the elevator. She falls down in the pool where is a shark, and she's been eaten by a shark. The other thing of this film, is I love that Karl Stromberg to Bond, says there's the ugliness, there's the beauty, there's death. I love that. There's ugliness, there's beauty, there's death. I love that. That's great. Karl Stromberg, Kurt Jennings, I think the actor passed away. He did a great job, He did a great job as the megalomaniac villain who wanted to make a civilization under the water. I mean, how are we gonna live underwater? I don't get it, but it's a brilliant idea, This time it's directed by Lewis Gilbert, who directed You Only Live Twice, my favorite one. That movie I love more than this one. I'm sorry, but You Only Live Twice is to me much better, Written by Christopher Wood and Richard Meinbaum. So yeah, they did a screenplay directed by Lewis Gilbert, and like I said in previous review, the Man with a Golden Gun, they the movie made problems, and caused delays. It took 3 years that they actually did review. They actually did made this movie. 3 years it took them. It caused a delay to almost be the final movie. By the time this movie came out, the James Bond franchise became very popular. But I still think that this movie is really, really, really good. I really think that the second hour with submarine, the fights of submarine, that makes the movie work, And this is for a while. This is actually my personal favorite Bond film, my personal favorite Roger Moore film, because it was so serious, And also, the next movie is supposed to be the fourth movie supposed to be For Your Eyes Only, but the producers decided to do Moonraker. And because the time, the Star Wars Episode 5, what was called, Star Wars, I think was the first Star Wars movie, and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, it was actually more popular, so they decided to do Moonraker instead, because Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope was more popular at that time, so they decided to do to do Moonraker, after this movie, and Lewis Gilbert returned in that film. The budget for this movie was $14 million, worldwide $46 million, and $185 million did in box office. So this was actually a huge success. It was a hit, and by many of the fans, this movie is the best. By many of the fans, this movie considered being best film. I really don't know. I really don't know how I'm gonna rank this film. I'm gonna still watch the other films, and then I'll tell you. Then I'm gonna do the ranking for all Roger Moore films when I review all of them. so far. Yeah, that was the third film, and of course, on audio commentary, Roger Moore considered this his favorite film that he did. This one and the second one was Live and Let Die. He considered this movie his been absolute favorite he did. And for a while it was mine, but like I said, I always change my opinions. And when I watched yesterday Live and Let Die and The Man with the Golden Gun, I have not seen it in 4 years. Because I've watched this movie many times. I have to say that those two movies are kind of grown me more than The Spy Who Loved Me. But it's not only the movie, because The Spy Who Loved Me is a good Bond movie. It's many by consider he is actually one of the best Bond films, and I agree. Just for me, it isn't the best Bond or the best Roger Moore movie anymore. I'm sorry. It's just that's how I'm honest. I'm not trolling. I'm just trying to tell. I'm just trying to be honest about my opinion, on the movie. But yeah. Yeah, that's my movie review on The Spy Who Loved Me, the third Roger Moore movie, and of course, I think this was the 10th James Bond film that came out. So yeah, it was the 10th James Bond that came out, but the cast, I forgot to mention the cast. Barbara Bach was okay as Major Anya Masova. Sorry, but she's not my favorite Bond girl. Carolyn Munro as Naomi was okay. The best of the movie to me is Jaws. Richard Kiel, he's the best. Roger Moore still did great performance. He did a great performance. So yeah, so that's that. Yeah, the cast did perfect. The direction by Lewis Gilbert is brilliant. I really have to say, give him a pro credits. He's really did great job. He really pulled this movie. They did $14 million to build that hideout for Stromberg, Atlantis. They really used those money, that money to build his hideout. They also used 2 or 3 submarines in this movie. They also did a few explosions, which is awesome, So that's another thing that is a good movie. But yeah, that's my movie review on The Spy Who Loved Me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time when I do my favorite film, and that's gonna be Moonraker. Anyway, take care. I'm out. Bye.